So
I was
something
reading about this in my communications class. Proceed.
I love the little voice like that. It was like you didn't just come in, you had it low and slow. You were like, I talked about it. But anyway.
This is going as a blooper in the front part of the video.
No, that was
like
great.
I just
That
speak
was
into a microphone.
you might have a new calling. But anyway, where it was. Oh yeah. So
hello everyone, welcome to The Couch. I hope you all are doing great today. I hope you're having an amazing week, an amazing day, an amazing minute watching this. But we are going to be talking about a brief topic this week, but I also have a couple announcements for you guys before we start and we go into this topic. So one, youth ambassador applications are being marketed right now, and we'll be posting soon more about the Youth Ambassador Board for 2021 and 2022. Applications open June 1st and close August 1st. So you have 2 full months to do the application. And right now you have 2 full months to start seeing what you need to get together, if you need to get anything together before you leave school. So again, if you have any questions about that, you can go to herrenproject.org and go to the Youth Ambassadors part of it. If you want it a little bit easier route, you can go to our youth Instagram, beyouth.hp, hit the link in the bio, click on Youth Ambassadors, and it takes you right to that. And you can also look at the posts that we posted on the Herren Project and the Be Youth Instagram about Youth Ambassadors. And number 2, last night we had an awesome episode with Kevin on Herren Project Live, so definitely feel free to go and check that out. Ask Kevin, and I asked him a whole bunch of questions, and it was so much fun, and you guys really submitted awesome questions. So definitely go take a look at that. That's on our YouTube channel and on Facebook. What's number 3? Do I have a number 3? We also do have a Spotify playlist coming out, and we're on TikTok. So go follow us on TikTok and keep an eye out for that playlist on Spotify, and or if it's out already, feel free to go listen to it, give a couple jams. If you want to submit a song, you can email Jillian at herrenproject.org and submit a clean song because it's for all the youth. So please, if you put a song in, please make sure it's a clean song. A little empowering too. Add some little spice. But that's all I have for you guys today. But today we're going to be talking about an important topic. It's going to be brief, but at the same time, I think it's necessary that we do talk about it. Because this is a way to help validate, not everyone's, but validate your feelings, the viewer, especially if you're having a hard day or you're going through a hard moment in your life or a hard time in your life. Because maybe sometimes you see things on your feed and you're like, wow, I really needed that today. So maybe this is what you need today. So if you're still watching, keep watching. This week, we're going to be talking about it's okay to not be okay. So you're probably like, okay, Izzy, how do you talk about it's okay to not be okay? That's just a statement. Yes, but we're going to talk about more in depth about that statement and provide a little bit of validation, right?
Yeah.
So we've been hearing the past year and a half, especially how we have a growing conversation with mental health and the destigmatization around mental health, especially men's mental health and just, mental health in general. The phrase, it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
So let's dive into that. Eric, do you want to start?
Yeah, for sure. And actually, you touched on something that I definitely agree with, is that, me being a man, for sure, with what I experienced and stuff growing up, I always thought that I had to be, you could say, a manly man, right? So growing up, for me, being a male, I always thought that when I wasn't okay, when I was going through a tough time, that I just had to fight through it. And
be a man.
There you go again. That's it. That might be something new on this now. You just kind of, throw but so just to fight through it and to not tell anybody, to not talk about it, because if I did, that made me weak. And I can't, and I think especially for men, we have the actually opposite thought on it's okay not to be okay. And that is, and that is, it's not okay to
Not
be okay. That was like, I had to think about it for a sec, but yeah, because we're supposed to be strong. We're supposed to get through anything, and nothing's supposed to break us down, and nothing's supposed to affect us.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality,
it's supposed to be an impenetrable force.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And nothing is supposed to be able to stop us, right?
Mm-hmm.
But everybody at one point, and I would even say more than one point in their life, goes through times, periods, when they're not okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's super important that you watching this right now know that, as Izzy said at the beginning, that little phrase, it's okay not to be okay, even if you're a man, because there are going to be things in your life that are going to affect you largely.
And men who are watching this, your mental health is equally as important.
Yes, I agree. And there's going to be different levels to it, right? Some stuff, it may affect you for a long period of time. It may be maybe the death of somebody, right? Or maybe, for example, not as long, but it's, I was just going to say that.
Well, we're on the same wavelength.
I was legitimately just thinking that. Yes, in high school, in college, or even out of college, in your 30s, in your 40s, just throughout your life, breaking up with somebody, right?
And it doesn't have to be romantic either.
Yeah, there you go. Losing a job, or, just there are so many things in your life that can affect you that you, in a sense, struggle with. And that's okay. That is basically what we're trying to get across to you is that it's okay to go through these things, because essentially it's a part of life.
You're everybody human. So cut yourself some slack.
There you go. Boom. She said it. Say that again. Give it to him again. Come on.
You're human. So it's okay to cut yourself some slack.
That's right. We all make mistakes. We all go through hard times, right? But I think it's important, I'll say it again, that these hard times are a part of life. And we're all going to go through times that we're not going to be okay.
What's also a part of life is your emotions. And to feel those emotions and to sit with those uncomfortable feelings, to also learn to sit with the uncomfortable parts of life. But how you deal with it and how you take care of yourself at the end of the day is what really matters. Because you're a human. And to understand your emotional well-being and your mental well-being, and to take care of you and to cut yourself some slack, and to understand that there's going to be hard bumps in the road. You're not going to have a perfect life. But as long as you're surrounded with people who care and are supportive of you, and who want to hear you demonstrate and speak your feelings, empathy, your emotions, the full nine, who want to, that's all that matters. I read about this in my communications class, right? And we were actually talking about how men, right, we should start not rewarding them, but demonstrating appreciation when they do share their emotions with us, because men have been, rejected the idea and the concept of being able to share their feelings, right? And one thing, I was reading this, and it was how men have faced and reject this concept of shameophobia, because anything that they are shamed for, they do not want to experience it again, especially if it was a feminine activity, quote unquote, I'm going to put that quote, feminine activity, that they were being shamed for. And I was reading, I was like, they were like, we should really start speaking out appreciation when the men in our life do share empathy, they share compassion, they share their hard emotions with us when they're going through a hard time, right? And we should do that for everyone. Like, I feel like no matter who you are, no matter how you identify, no matter what, if you are transgender, if you are non-binary, if you are a male, if you are a female, if you, are lesbian, gay, like straight, asexual, questioning, no matter what, we should all speak and appreciate sharing our feelings with each other, because I think that's what gets people to start talking. Like, thank you for sharing that with me. Let's unpack this and let's talk more about it if you'd like, if you're comfortable with that. Because at the same time, sometimes people feel like they're a burden. Like, no, thank you for sharing that with me. Like, I'm so glad you confided in me and you believe that I'm a safe space. Like, it's okay to not be okay. I'm here for you. I'm here to listen to you. That's what I'm here for as a friend, as a girlfriend, as a boyfriend, as a wife, as a husband, etc. As a family member, whatever the case may be. I thought it was a really interesting concept to actually talk about that, and because men's mental health and suicide rates have just been, a really big conversation in the last year, and I think it's really important to acknowledge that.
What's interesting is when you were just talking about that, speaking up and talking to someone, and them saying, "Oh no, I'm listening. Like, I'm glad you talked to." It's so funny that and I've been in situations like this where I've been on both sides of it. I've said something to someone and someone said something to me, but when somebody opens up to you like that, I have found that when you open up to somebody else at one point or another in the conversation, they open up to you, right? So if I open up and I start talking about, look, and I'm really going through this, blah, 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 and then you start talking, I'm like, well, you want to know something? It's funny you mentioned that. So when we become vulnerable and we talk about it like that, right? That's how we quote unquote start that conversation. And then it's, oh, you went through that? Wow, I never would have known that. Yeah, I went through that, right? So it's very important, yes, to have that conversation. And it's funny you started going down that road, because I started thinking as you were talking that when we don't have that conversation, what we're doing is, you talked about emotions, you talked about feelings, you're pushing them to the side. You're pushing them to the side. Again, I'll go back to, as I said, growing up.
You're suppressing them.
Boom, there you go. That's just what I was going to say. And it's like, I can get through this. I'm strong enough. So it's important, because if you just push them to the side, if you keep suppressing those emotions, eventually they're going to keep surfacing, right? So to know that, to realize that you're not okay, to realize that it's valid not to be okay, because everybody walking this earth, at least once in their life goes through a time where they're not okay. And to realize that it's okay not to be okay, and to talk about it, to not suppress the emotions, to not to use unhealthy coping decisions
mechanisms
to escape those feelings, those emotions, is largely important, I feel. So I just wanted to throw that in there, that to talk about them, to not suppress them, to push them to the side.
No, that's really valid. And I think part of this conversation also goes back to your solo segment about asking for help. So if you're watching this and you're like, Izzy and Eric, you're kind of right. Yes, we are. Go back to Eric's solo segment and watch how to ask for help, because what comes after recognizing, validating, sitting with those feelings of it's okay to not be okay, knowing you're not okay, and recognizing that and putting a label on the feelings that you're feeling, or sometimes if you don't know, that's okay too. The next step would to be try and break the barriers down to ask for help. And that person doesn't have to be a parent. That person doesn't have to be, it can be someone that you trust and that that you can confide in, that they are supportive, that they are caring, they will listen to you, and they will validate you. And I think, Eric, you made some great points, and I'm just going to second those. We've all been, I'm not going to say we're all in the same boat, because that's something that I read during the pandemic. We're not all in the same boat. Some of us are on yachts. Some of us are on cruise ships.
You're right.
Some of us are in boats that have holes in it. Some of us we're in good boats, but we have no paddles. So we're all in different boats, but we're all in different boats. We're all experiencing different things, but what matters is the community that we can come home to, that we can be vulnerable with, and vice versa, that we can tell them, hey, like, I'm just not feeling like me today. I'm not feeling okay. I'm kind of upset. I don't know about what, but I'm stressing internally. And that's what matters, is that you have a caring community behind you. And even if it's like one or two people, even if it's like someone at work that you went to, even if it's like, the school therapist, or, the resource center at your university, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, just somebody that, as Izzy said, to touch on that a little bit more, just someone you trust, right? Because as Izzy said, this conversation, as we're talking about, it's not easy to have. And so when you can approach that person, as again, Izzy said, at your work, at school, at your university, the person you trust to have this conversation, it makes it a little bit more easier, right? And so, we're so hesitant. We're so hesitant not to talk about this because everybody's doing the exact same thing, and that is they're keeping it inside, right? Like, just imagine a world where we all were open about it. Imagine a world where it was okay that the reoccurring theme and the thing out there was that it is okay not to be okay, right? Because a lot of people just don't think it is because no one talks about it. Well, I shouldn't say nobody, but a lot of people, they just hold it inside and try to suppress the emotions because of all those stigmas of being weak, of not being strong.
Or they try and push it off because other people might have it worse, or they've been through worse, or there's worse things that could happen in life. No, even if it's little, even if it's something little, like you forgot your Snapple at the Stop and Shop today, even if it's something small, validate it. Like, dang, that kind of upset me. Like, I didn't get the writing for health class that I wanted for next semester, and I was kind of upset because I really wanted it because it would help my public health knowledge. But I was like, okay, that sucks, but I guess I can get it another semester. Well, that doesn't mean I was kind of teed off myself that I didn't register for my classes when I was supposed to. But point is, even if it's something small, and you're like, oh no, something worse could have happened, honestly, you can still look at the positive side, honestly, something worse could have happened, but that still doesn't mean I'm not upset about it. That still doesn't mean, acknowledge that part. The two things can be equally true, right? Something worse could have happened, but you can also still be upset about it.
Yeah.
You can still acknowledge that situation could have been worse, but you're also still upset that it happened. I didn't want to forget my Snapple at the store, man.
And with stuff like forgetting your Snapple at the store or other things that aren't on that large scale, right? That really, really, really hit home, that really, really, really can affect you emotionally and with your feelings. Just doing that's right there, validating it. That's right there. That's talking about it and dealing with it, right? Just those simple two things that you just talked about right there is a perfect example of validating and dealing with it, acknowledging it.
So some major summary points from today's conversation. 1, it's okay to not be okay. 2, validating your experiences and how you feel is the utmost important. Like we just said, 2 things can be true. That situation could have been worse if it was small, and you can still be upset about it. Or 3, in general, if it's something on a larger scale, validate them. Don't try and suppress it. It's okay to not be okay. You're a human. Cut yourself some slack. You're an amazing human being, and we all go through hard things in life. So cut yourself some slack. What's a part of life is emotions. We all got them. It's okay. 3, 4. 4. Do you have a point to add?
Yeah, that everybody goes through it, right? These struggles are a part of life. So everybody at one point or another, as I said, goes through these struggles, but people just don't talk about them. So we think that people don't. We think that nothing's wrong in someone's life, but in reality, they may be going through something, but they're suppressing, not talking about them, just like you. Yeah. So know that you're not alone.
Mm-hmm. You're not alone. Yep, you are not alone. 5, once you sit with those feelings and you validate them and you really talk yourself through it and you still feel like you need to talk about it, do your best to break down the barrier so you can ask for help or ask to talk to someone. That person doesn't have to be a therapist. That can just be someone who you go and you can call for the good and the bad. Hey girl, hey bro, what's up? I just had a tough day today. You know what I mean? I know yesterday, I got this new job, whatever the case may be, but today I'm just having a tough day. And talk about it with them. You know what I mean? Whether that's your girlfriend, boyfriend, friend, cousin, mom, dad, aunt, uncle, school therapist, the university, resource center, etc. Work buddies, the full nine. Any other points you want to add?
No, I think you covered. I think that's it right there.
So take in those points. You're awesome. Be kind because you don't know what other people are going through. Do good. Be you, live well. You're awesome. It's okay to not be okay. You're human. Again, cut yourself some slack. Feel your emotions. You're awesome. And you're gonna get through it. It may not feel like you're gonna get through it today, tomorrow, or in a week. But as long as you are doing your best to ask for help, to learn to validate and put a name on your feelings if you are able to. If you can't, obviously it's okay. Sometimes it's okay that you don't know. Then, and take care of yourself. And you're taking care of yourself. That's the most important part, taking care of yourself. Everything's going to be okay. If it's not okay, then it's not the end.
Because we all go through it. There you go.
We all may not go through the specific experience that you're experiencing right now because we all experience the world in a different way, but we all go through a hard time.
Mm-hmm.
You're not sensitive. You're not overly emotional because you are expressing your emotions and you're expressing and you're feeling emotions like a human being. You're not. So don't invalidate yourself. So validate yourself. Take care of yourself. Be you. Live well. You're amazing. Do good. Be kind. You're awesome. Take on the day. Your excellency. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
I think we're out. Bye.
Peace out. Bye.